We were helping our friend Lisa recently, and I found this interesting lump of wood in her log pile, so I asked her if I could keep it. It has quite a bit of rot in it, but most is solid, close-grained crotch wood. Now, I have done quite a bit of wood carving over the years, and I figured out an easy way to do it, which is a good thing because wood carving can be very slow and awkward. As a boy, I used badly sharpened pin knives, which was okay for very soft timber and small projects, but then I graduated to mallets and chisels. But for those, you really need to hold your timber very, very firmly or you're asking for trouble. So now I use 3 simple rules for carving, and it makes the job quick and easy and much more fun, really. Step 1. Fit your design to the wood that you have. Not the other way around, okay? So look long and hard at your lump of wood, because the less you have to cut off, the better. I trimmed the log on the bandsaw so it would stand up, and obviously there's a prehistoric bison in there, isn't there? Just waiting to be released. Something like the wonderful cave paintings from France. We used to have bison here in Ireland too, but humans ate them all a long time ago. We're just the worst, aren't we? Oh dear. But what magnificent animals bison are. A lot like the American ones, which for some reason seem to be called buffalo. Does anybody know why? Anyway, I drew a crude outline of a bison and cut it out. I drew mine on the computer because it's so easy then to scale it up or down to get it to the same size or the right size for your piece of wood. Remembering, of course, step 1, fit your design to the wood. Step 2 is keep it simple. Mine is so simple, it's stylized. My bison only has 3 crudely formed legs. Normally they do have 4. Its horns are blunt and very fat, and it has no tail. All the curves are as big and roundy and open as possible, because that makes cutting the excess wood off easy, because you can use a bandsaw or a circular saw or a fret saw to slice big pieces off, like carving an apple with a knife. Mine would have been easier if I'd had a narrower blade in my bandsaw, but I only have this one at the moment, and it doesn't go round corners very well. Cut off smaller and smaller pieces as you get closer to your final shape. At this point, I've cut off all that I want to and still not used a knife or a gouge or a chisel or anything. So far, it's been quick and easy. Now, step 3 is avoid details. Details are what slows down a carving hugely. And of course they have their place, but if you keep your carving simple, crude even, stylized, minimalist, whatever you want to call it, then you don't need details anyway. You have to think a bit differently. Describe the subject in big broad strokes, like painting with a large brush. Can you do that? Of course you can. Yes, it's very tempting to put in an eye or 2 or define that leg better, but if you do, that will take a long time. And you have to get it absolutely right or it will look awful. The way I do it, things don't have to be right at all, and it will still work out, probably. The other reason for avoiding details is then you can see the grain of the wood. In this case, it's a lovely reddish colour, and by the smell of it, it's some kind of cypress. The smoother you get your wood, the more of the grain you can see. If I'd carved a beard and a mane and eyes and ears and hooves and all the rest of it, then you'd hardly see the grain at all. Anyway, that's all there is to it. I think it looks a bit like a bison and a bit like a lump of wood, which I quite like. Perhaps I'm wrong and it doesn't really look like any of those things, you tell me. Either way, it has a lovely texture where I haven't touched it with a tool, and it has lovely grain where I have. So thank you very much, Lisa, for your log. Of course, purists will hate that I used power tools to do this. Well, I'm sorry about that. But if I tried to carve this with gouges and chisels, I know it would have taken 3 times as long, and so I wouldn't even have started it. Go on, give sculpting a try. It's very satisfying. If you remember the 3 steps, design for the wood, keep it simple, and avoid details. Good luck. Have fun.